All right, welcome back. Hononegah, Algebra 1, Section 5, 6, and 5, 7. We did Section 5, 6, and 5, 7 right before winter break. And so welcome back. Happy New Year to everybody. So 5, 6, 5, 7 review worksheet. I'm going to do this with you. Just in case you struggled on 5, 6, or 5, 7, the review worksheet here, I'll do a video to help you out a little bit just to try to make sure you understand how to do those two sections. So to start with, deciding whether or not something is a true solution to an inequality. If you're given an x and a y, you're going to plug in the first number for the x, the second number from the y, and decide if it's true or not. So 5 minus 4 is 1. Is 1 greater than or equal, greater than 2? And the answer to that question is no, it is not. 1 is not bigger than 2. Next one. So again, you're going to put the first number in for x and the second number in for y. So is negative 5 less than or equal to negative 3? And the answer to that question is yes. So again, if you are given a point and inequality and deciding whether or not something is a solution or not, you just have to plug it in and state yes or no. Now, I know for my class, you do have to show your work. You do have to show me you're going to put 5 in for x and 4 in for y. You can't just write no on this. Next one, same thing. We're going to put 2 in for x and 2 in for y. And so, yes, 12 is less than or equal to 12. And so the next one, we're going to put 3 in for x and negative 1 in for y. So this is 3 plus 3 is 6. And this is a no. 6 is not greater than 6. Now the last one was true because of the equal to line. Next, we're actually going to do the same thing, except now I'm going to give you a picture. If it is true, then it's in the shaded region. And because the line is solid, it can be on the line. So any point that's in the shaded region or on the line is a yes. Now this one you don't have to show any work. So the point 1, 0 is no. I'm going to go over here to my picture and see where 1, 0 is, and that is not in the shaded region and not on the line. Negative 1, negative 1, that's a yes. It's in the shaded region. 0, 0 is on the line. And again, only because the line is solid do you say yes. Negative 3, positive 1, that is also a yes. 2, negative 4, ooh, on the line, it's a yes. 0, 3, that is a no. That is not in the shaded region and not on the line. Next, we are going to graph. Y is less than 3. Now, here's what you're going to do in all these graphs. You're going to graph the line, then you're going to decide dashed or solid, and then you're going to decide to shade. So I want to just don't write this down. I just put a blank screen up here for a quick second. So first, graph the line. Second, if it is a less than or equal to or a greater than or equal to, you are going to make a solid line. If it's a greater than or a less than, you're going to make a dashed line. So the equal to is a solid line. If you don't have an equal to, you're going to make a dashed. Greater than or equal to, you are going to shade above. If it's a less than or equal to, you are going to shade below. Now, you can always test a point, and if you watch some of the other videos that I did on 5, 6, and 5, 7, you can test a point. That will work, but I think this is a little bit easier for most people. All right, so let's scroll back up here. All right, here we go. Y is less than or equal to 3, so I'm going to graph a line straight across for y is 3, and I'm going to make it solid because there's an equal to, and I'm going to shade below because it's less than. Next one, again, graph the line. So 0, 2 is the y-intercept with a slope of 1/3. So up 1 to the right 3. This time it is a dashed line Again, because there is no equal to, you would dash the line. Just in the last one, it wasn't equal to, so it was solid. Shading now. Since this is y is greater than, then I would shade above the line. Every point above the line would work in this particular inequality. Next one. So graph the line. That's the first thing I would tell all of you. So -4 is the y, 0, -4 is the y-intercept. -2 to the right 1, so slope of -2. It is solid because there's an equal to line, and I'm going to shade above because it's a greater than. This is the only time in which things get a little bit different. X3, it's dashed, that's not different. But what is different is the shading above or below. There is no above or below on a vertical line. So the x values smaller would be to the left, and the x values greater would be to the right. So that is the only time you have to go left or right is if you have a vertical line. Next, all right, now things get a lot more complicated with number 15. Put a star by this one. This is the most complicated as I can make this. Subtract 3x. So I have to solve it for y myself. Divide by -2. That gets us to another rule. Anytime you divide both sides of an inequality by a negative, the symbol switches directions. A negative divided by a negative would be a positive. And so don't look at anything else. This is what you're going to graph. So it's got a y-intercept at -3. So I'm going to put a dot at 0, -3. Positive 3/2 slope. So it goes up 3 to the right 2. Dashed. The reason it's dashed is because there's no equal to line underneath. Shaded greater because its y is greater than. So that is as hard as I can make it. So if you need to go back and watch that one again, I would understand. Next one, I'm going to subtract 2x. I'm going to subtract 2x to move it to the other side. Graph. Crosses the y-axis at 0, -5. -2 is the slope, so it goes down 2 to the right 1. Solid. Reason it's solid is because there's an equal to line. Shaded below because its y is less than. So again, you're looking at the inequality symbol and deciding. So that's the end of having just one equation. Everything in section 5.7 is doing the exact same thing, just merely having more than one equation. So remember in the beginning when I said plug the first number in for x and the second number in for y, you're just going to do that twice. So if I put -1 in for y, and there was only a y in the first one, so I only plugged the -1 in. Is -1 greater than 3? The answer to that question is no, so I can stop. Even if I plug the second one in, it actually is still no. So it didn't work for either one of them, but you only need to get one no. Once you get a no, you are done. You can just no is your answer. Next one, so I'm going to put -4 in for the y, 7 in for the x. So in the first one, it works. So I'm going to put it just a small yes. In the second one, it also is a yes. So the answer to the question is yes, because it worked in both. So as long as it works in both equations, then you get to say yes. If it's either one of them is a no, then you're done. You don't have to do anything else. Same thing before, shaded region. If it's in the shaded region or on a solid line, it's a yes. If it's on a dashed line, it's a no. So here we go. 2, 1. That is not in the shaded region. It is not on a solid line. The answer to that is no. -3, -2. Ooh, bit of a trick question. It's on a dashed line. So therefore it's a no. 0, 2. It's on a solid line. That's a yes. -2, +2. That's a yes. It's in the shaded region. All right, so now here's where some of you that like colors, this is where this is going to come into play. You're going to graph the first one, dashed, solid, shading. You're going to do the second one, dashed, solid, and shading, and decide where it is shaded for both equations. So the first one, 4 for the y, it's solid because there's an equal to line, and it is shaded above. Now, I am not going to shade it completely. I am just merely going to draw little arrows. And if you want to do one in the middle, you can do it there too. But ultimately, it's being shaded above. Next one, x, -4. Solid, so straight up and down at -1, solid, and shaded to the left. So the area that is shaded by both lines is the only area you should shade when doing this. So to the left of the vertical line and above the red line. Next one. So again, colors would be good here for some of you. -3, 0, -3 is the y-intercept with a slope of -2. It's dashed and it's shaded below. So I'm talking about this side of the line right now. Next one, -2 with a slope of +1/2, so up 1 over 2. It's dashed and shaded above. So the area that is shaded by both, that is the area that you need to fill in. So it's below the red line, above the blue line, and it's over there in the left-hand side. So every single time, okay, you're probably going to get an area that is shaded by both. Last one. Now we're going to get as hard. This is the top of the mountain for section 5, 6, and 5, 7. You're not solved for y. So I'm going to solve the bottom one for y here by subtracting 2x. So this one I'm going to grab. Next one, a little bit harder. I'm going to subtract 3x and divide everything by 4. And so I'm going to graph this one. First one, -7 is the y-intercept. So 0, -7 with a slope of -2. So I go down 2 to the right 1. I feel like we've had a lot of slopes of -2 on this worksheet. All right, dashed and shaded above. Second one, crosses at 0, 3. Slope of -3, 4. So down 3 to the right 4. Up 3, 4. So they will cross. They're just crossing way over there, which I don't like, but so I'm going to extend these lines just a little bit further. And I want to shade below the blue line. So the area that is shaded by both is this little pie section that's in between. Last one. The top one's a little harder than the bottom. I'm going to subtract x. Now, I'm going to divide everything by -1. We talked about this before. Anytime you're dividing by a negative, you got to switch the inequality symbol. Next one, subtract x. Divide by a +3. Graph. First one I'm going to do is the y-intercept at -3, so 0, -3, with a slope of -1/3. It's solid and shaded above. Second one. The reason it was shaded above, sorry, and I didn't talk much about this, and I should have. Remember, I'm looking at this inequality symbol. If it's an equal to line, it's solid. If it's greater than, it's shaded above. So the second one, 0, 2, with a slope of 1. So up 1 to the right 1. This time it's dashed and shaded below. So the area that is shaded for both of these is over here on the right-hand side. It's above the red and below the blue. So welcome back. I know we did section 5, 6, and 5, 7 prior to winter break, and now we're coming back and doing it again. If you have any questions, please reach out to your teacher. We are going to have an assessment on this next week. So again, if you have questions, make sure you talk to your teacher, and good luck.